are endangered animals now in the urban area. So basically this is a poem that is to us, and then thanking them for the sacrifice. Here we go.
All right, everybody. How you doing? So I'm here with two very powerful sisters. I was deeply moved by what she had to say at Indigenous Peoples Day 2019 in Randall's Island, New York City. So I asked her for 3 minutes of her time. So she blessed us with some words in an interview. So if you could both just introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, what's your involvement, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, my name is Vanessa Tai Pelli, and I am a elder of the community. I have a women's group, which is called the Boyo Batabe, which means the House of Mother Earth. I'm also on the board of directors for the United Confederation of Taino people. And I'm here, of course, and I always will be, to support my people, to support the things that they're doing, the work that they're doing, and the messages that they're bringing to the world.
Amazing.
And my name is Tai Pelli, also from the United Confederation of Taino people. I am an officer of these organizations for the international relations and human rights. And our work, as we already had on our previous conversation, our work is that of the defense of indigenous cultures of the Caribbean, human rights, environmental rights, and our sacred sites. Very important. We continuously engage into the local, national, and international arena to bring about the issues that are still affecting indigenous peoples. And we also we're one of the strong participants on the creation and adoption of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, that's amazing. So, like I told you before, I work with young people every day. This is, I've been doing it for almost 10 years already. A lot of them, you show them, and I'm talking about Boricua, Dominican, Haitian students, you show them pictures of our indigenous people or our ancestors, and they laugh. And I have empathy. They're disconnected. I was disconnected in middle school as well. So, what's the importance for these young people? I see a lot of kids out here. What's the importance for these young people to just, scratch the surface, put a toe in the water when we're talking about our indigenous roots and ancestry? Why is that so important? Why should they care? If you could talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's very important for our young people to learn about their culture. If you don't know your history, if you don't know where you come from, you have no sense of where you're going. This society, dominant society, does not accept that indigenous reality that we all have. And if you want scientific proof, there's plenty of scientific proof. Right? There's DNA studies that have been done and so forth. It is important for you because in our culture is the way to survival of our people, survival of our ways, survival of our wisdoms. So it's very, very important. So my message to the young people is you need to learn about it. You need to go to your elders or even to some of the organizations that we have, get in contact with us, learn your culture. In it, tomorrow, this earth is yours. We have to leave it to you, and we want to leave it to you. Right? You got to take care of it. Unless you're going to jump off the planet and go someplace else, this is it. All right?
Yeah.
So it's very important. The only way you're going to do that is by participating, by getting involved.
Yes.
All right? It's not a history lesson, and I know a lot of people don't like history classes. They're boring.
Actually, one of the things that I was telling my students the other day, I said, the reason why you find history so boring, which is why I found it boring, because you ain't learning your history. You're learning somebody else's history.
I would love to add something. As a Taquina of our culture, a Taquina is a historian, a teacher. One of the things is why should we teach or engage our people into our own history? Why should we engage the youth? I will tell you something, because we need to decolonize, and the best way to decolonize is to re-indigenize. And if
wait. Say it again.
The best way to decolonize is to re-indigenize. And one of the things that I see as a person of this modern times, as an indigenous person in these modern times, is that a lot of the social issues that our people experience, peoples whose roots are from the Caribbean, have to do with identity. So that's why you end up going to drugs. That's why you end up going into forms of addiction that are impacting their lives. Yet, the colonizer has presented the indigenous person as dumb, as primitive, no knowledge, no idea. And in the case of the Taino peoples, for example, as opposed to fostering the resilience of our people, 527 years, we are still here with all the murders and the tortures and the atrocities that they committed against our people. And also being the first indigenous peoples in this hemisphere to have been impacted and dispossessed of our lands. And yet here we are, and in my case, I'm a Boricua Taino. I am very proud of the people that I come from. And I think that young people, if they knew the kind of people that they come from, the kind of people that were their ancestors, and your ancestors live within you, they're still here. You know, that's why we get certain connections that attract you to some other things. That's our cellular memory reacting. And I think that if our youth understood the heroes that we have, that are never mentioned, okay? With the case of our people in Jamaica, only referred to as Arawak, so they have learned to disconnect the Taino from their own heritage, even though we are the same peoples. So I think there's a lot. And when we talk about the knowledge on astronomy, the knowledge on medicine, traditional medicine, like people are now talking about, and I will mention this tomorrow, people talk about, you know, organic eating. Well, guess what? That's indigenous. You know, it's not a discovery. They came, the invaders came, changed our ways, and now here we are 500 years later talking about, you know, as if this was a discovery. And that is not the case. The same thing with traditional medicine and healing practices, our social structure, how we resolved conflict. All those things will make any person proud, only if they understand where they come from.
I'm humbled. Thank you both for talking with me. One more time for the people, tell them the names of the organizations, how they can get in contact, and how they can get involved.
Okay, the organization, the United Confederation of Taino People, you can go on uctp.org. The Bo'io of Atabey for the women, especially our young women. I really want to address our young women because they need to reconnect to their culture, because they are the future. They carry the future. That would be Bo'io Atabey, and I'll spell it for you. It's Bohio, Bo'io Atabey, Atabei, and that would be .blogspot.com. I also will give you a card so you'll have it, so you can use it, and they can contact us via that.
And I can be found on social media, Tai Pelli, LLTAIPELLI. Also, as Vivina says, the uctp.org. And, you know, in these times of social media, you know, it's very easy and it takes so little. And yet you can get so much out of the information that we have to provide.
The best way to decolonize is to re-indigenize, okay?
Re-indigenize. I just like to add one last thing is, you know, young people today use social media a lot. You use Facebook and stuff like that and things like that. Try using that social media also to find your heritage, to find your culture. There are many sites that will also teach you. It's important, right? Understand that if you don't do that, right, if you don't, you will be lost. Find yourselves.
Thank you both so much for your time. Appreciate it.